Snark Squad babes. It's a cold evening. The night is young. And babes, we are feeling petty and delusional.
Let's be clear. The rosé wine is here for the night, and babes, we are thriving. Cheers.
Cheers. Honestly, we need to talk right now about petty neighbors.
Oh, I am so ready for this.
Because you are convinced their apartment neighbor hates them.
Because she does.
Like, babes, it's giving targeted behavior. I need you to explain this to the Snark Squad because, you've been spiraling all week.
I have not been spiraling. I have been gathering data analytically because let's establish the baseline reality here. I am living in a psychological thriller.
A thriller. Okay, Martin Scorsese.
No, I mean it. The woman across the hall has declared a silent war. It started with, minor microaggressions, right?
Yeah.
But now, every single time I open my front door...
Wait, literally every time?
Every single time. Whether it's 8 in the morning to grab my iced coffee or midnight to take out the trash, she aggressively clears her throat from behind her closed door.
Oh my God, the throat clearing. It's so unhinged.
I can hear it through the drywall. It's not seasonal allergies. It is a booming, authoritative, I know you are existing in the hallway and I hate it kind of noise.
I am so shocked by this,
Yeah.
but also deeply entertained. It's so passive aggressive. But tell them about the note, the sticky note incident.
Oh, the stationary choices alone are a red flag. 2 days ago, I find a neon pink sticky note.
Neon pink, the most aggressive color.
Exactly. Psychologically designed to induce panic. And it's stuck, not on my door, but directly over my people.
No. Yeah.
Yes. And in this perfect serial killer cursive, it says, please be mindful of hallway noise resonance.
Hallway noise resonance. What does that even mean?
I don't know. I was walking to the elevator in my socks. I am paying entirely too much rent to be policed on my sock acoustics.
That is wild. I am validating your feelings right now because your home is your sanctuary. But
I haven't even told you the worst part. The mail routine.
Oh, right, the mail. Tell them.
Without fail, she checks her mail at the exact millisecond I check mine. It defies statistical probability. I'll go down at random times. Tuesday at 3:14 p.m. The elevator opens, and she's just standing there holding a single Bed Bath & Beyond coupon, just glaring at me.
She is literally stalking your mail routine just to assert dominance. That is so unhinged.
She is utilizing spatial proximity for warfare. It's insane. But, participating in this Cold War really makes me pause. Let's ask the real question here.
Okay, ask it.
Are we petty?
Pause.
Be honest.
Look, I feel things deeply.
Yeah.
Okay, I process emotions on a very visceral level. So when someone wrongs me, I hold on to it because it hurts. But petty, I wouldn't say petty. I think I just have incredibly strong boundaries and a fierce dedication to justice.
Actually, you're so petty.
Excuse me. I am highly empathetic. I am a vessel for fairness.
You are the queen of petty. It is entirely delusional to pretend otherwise. Do we need to bring up the iconic parking spot incident from last year?
Oh, come on. That was completely justified.
Oh, was it? Let's examine the evidence of your quote-unquote strong boundaries. You pulled into Trader Joe's. You saw that girl from our old spin class.
She was toxic.
The girl who didn't compliment your new curtain bangs. 3 entire years prior. You saw her waiting for the premium spot right up front. She had her blinker on.
She did not have the right of way.
She absolutely did. And what did you do? You zipped your little car in from the wrong directional lane, stole the spot, and then sat there making direct eye contact with her while applying lip gloss for 10 minutes.
Okay, first of all, it's about the principle. You have to understand the emotional context of that era of my life. I had just gone through a devastating breakup. I made the post-breakup chop. I was vulnerable, and she looked right at my freshly cut hair and asked if I was sweating more than usual. That is an emotional injury.
So you held a grudge for 3 years over hair sweat.
If you don't respect the bangs in my season of vulnerability, you don't get the premium parking in my season of triumph. That is just karma.
You are a vessel of delusion. That's what you are. Yeah. And I love it. But listen, we need to celebrate something tonight.
Yes, we do.
Because, babes, we are hitting a milestone.
Pause. Almost 1,000 episodes. What?
I know.
Babes, that is actually fucking wild.
1,000 times we have sat down, poured a glass of something strong, and analyzed the socio-political dynamics of reality television.
I am getting genuinely emotional just thinking about it. Looking back at how far we've come, the sheer chaos of surviving this long.
The audio crashing, the times we literally yelled at each other over Bravo alliances.
Right. And just like massive appreciation for the Snark Squad, the community that has built up around this mess. You guys are a chosen family. I am practically crying into my rosé.
We'll wipe your tears because we need to figure out how we are celebrating this. And knowing us, it needs to be completely delusional.
Oh, I have an idea. I am feeling it in my soul.
Let's hear it.
We rent a yacht, a massive multi-level mega yacht, and we throw a gala in Monaco. Black tie only. Everyone wears like 90s archive couture. And we just live our ultimate elevated lives.
I love that vision for us. The aesthetic is flawless, but analytically speaking, I just checked our joint bank account.
Don't ruin this for me.
Our current balance can maybe cover a paddle boat rental in a municipal park, plus one lukewarm hot dog. We are rich in opinions, not liquid assets.
Why do you always have to bring spreadsheets into my fantasy? Let me dream.
I am grounding us. Look, I have a counter proposal. $0, maximum audacity. We fly to New York, find out exactly where the next Bravo red carpet is, acquire high-quality movie set disguises.
Right, like prosthetics?
Full prosthetics, wigs, contact,
Sure.
and we crash the carpet, we walk it like we are cast members of a new, unannounced franchise, and we just give interviews to the press about our imaginary feuds.
I am obsessed with this. We can be the villainous sisters from, like, the real heiresses of the Hudson Valley?
Exactly. The press would eat it up.
Okay, before we book flights to New York, snack check. Because, babes, for anyone watching, we are eating Biscoff Millionaire shortbread.
Oh, we are.
Pause. And it is amazing.
It really is.
The emotional experience of this dessert cannot be overstated. I took a bite, and my eyes literally rolled into the back of my head. The gooey texture of the caramel sitting on that cookie butter flavor.
It's elite.
It is a literal hug from my soul. It tastes like European happiness.
I am ranking this analytically, and it is a solid 9.8 out of 10. The structural integrity of the shortbread base, phenomenal. It holds up against the heavy caramel without crumbling. The ratio of butter to sugar is engineered to absolute perfection.
It is beautifully constructed, but you know what? This cookie is actually the perfect metaphor for what we have to talk about tonight.
Oh, a flawless transition.
Right, a beautifully constructed facade with a layer of sticky, complicated mess underneath. We need to talk about Southern Hospitality, Season 4, Episode 7, Sip Happens.
The delusion we just joked about in our own lives is nothing compared to the staggering lack of self-awareness displayed by this cast.
I have so many feelings. I want to start with Joe and Maddie because the olive oil delusion. I can't. Let's unpack this fight.
Let's lay out the facts chronologically. The timeline is where the manipulation lives. So the situation is Joe and Maddie are in this massive fight over several days. Joe went out drinking, told her he was going to work at another bar, and basically lied by omission. He failed to update her that he was partying.
And my heart is just bleeding for Maddie.
Yeah.
Because, like, you have to understand the vulnerability here. We have to look at the psychology. She is a sober girl.
Right.
She has deep family trauma. Her parents were drinkers, and she has this intense, ingrained fear of perpetuating that cycle. When you grow up like that, your nervous system is permanently wired to detect when a partner is drinking.
It's a hypervigilance.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It is so triggering to date someone who uses alcohol to cope or just aggressively parties. When you have fought tooth and nail for your own sobriety. When she said, obviously I have trust issues, I felt that in my bones. She is fiercely protecting her peace.
I hear you, and I validate her trauma completely, but we also have to look at Joe's absolute nonsense because he is weaponizing technicalities. Maddie explicitly says, I'm not in the market for a sober boyfriend. She just wants honesty.
Yes. Just tell her where you are.
And Joe plays the victim with professional precision. He employs the omission loophole. He tells her, technically I lied by omission, but I'm not sneaking around. Bro, how can you claim you aren't sneaking around when you literally have your location tracked by your girlfriend?
The fans in the forums are going wild over this. They are tracking each other.
You lied by omission, Joe.
No.
Own it. You can't proudly say you aren't sneaking around when a GPS satellite is beaming your exact coordinates to her iPhone. He thinks the technicality absolves him of guilt.
It's the logic of a teenager. And then, instead of sitting in his wrongness, what does he do? He goes to a med spa for skin mapping.
The skincare tangent, I almost threw my glass at the TV.
It was such a jarring pivot. We go from deep trauma about sobriety to pores.
Let's break down the blinding delusion of this spa trip. Joe and TJ get their skin ages mapped by AI. TJ is 34. The machine says his skin age is 32 to 34. Makes biological sense. Joe is 29. The machine declares his skin age is 24.
And what does he attribute it to? Read the quote.
He attributes his youthful skin to his, quote, Italian heritage and olive oil consumption. I choked on my Biscoff shortbread.
The audacity, the absolute unwavering audacity to act like a little extra virgin olive oil is some magical shield protecting your collagen from gallons of tequila and late-night benders.
It's not the olive oil, Joe. It's genetics, and it's going to expire soon.
Someone online explained that this machine is basically a rigged carnival game. Med spas use it to flatter your ego, so you buy a 12-step skincare routine.
Exactly. It's a sales tactic. But it's the perfect metaphor for Joe's life. He wants a machine to tell him he's doing great, completely ignoring the internal damage he's causing. He wants validation without doing the work.
Spot on. But while Joe was rubbing olive oil on his ego, we have to talk about the real star of this episode, Julia.
The MVP.
Maddie's sponsor, Julia, is operating on a level of emotional intelligence that this cast does not deserve.
She is a beacon of clarity in a sea of frozen daiquiris. Let's look at the coping mechanisms she gives Maddie. Journaling, writing letters you don't send, and making PowerPoints.
The PowerPoints.
Yeah.
When Maddie said she makes PowerPoints to process her feelings, I felt so seen. The fans want a Maddie PowerPoint session at BravoCon.
I would buy VIP tickets to that.
It's such a healthy way to deal with the chaos of a man-child. But the quote, babes, we have to talk about the quote Julia dropped.
Deliver it.
You can't hold your dreams and your drink in the same hand.
Wow.
I started sobbing. I had to pause the TV. It is the most profoundly emotionally intelligent thing ever said on Bravo.
It really forces Maddie to look at reality. Are you holding on to the dream of stable family, or are you holding on to a man who insists on holding a drink? You can't do both.
Right. And Joe might be hiding his red flags behind skincare, but another guy in this group doesn't even try to hide them. He wears them like a cape.
Oh, we are pivoting to Justin. I need a cleansing breath.
The Justin Bobby of our generation.
The fans nailed that comparison. He is Justin Bobby reincarnated in Charleston.
Let's unpack this messy triangle.
Yeah.
Jordan, Justin, and Mia. Justin wants to cut ties with Jordan because the drama is too much. Jordan is furious. But analytically speaking, her anger is directed entirely at the wrong person.
Completely. She is launching a full-scale assault on Mia.
And I am spiraling about the internalized misogyny of it all. Girls, direct your anger at the fuckboy. Why attack Mia? I think it's because blaming the other woman preserves the fantasy of the man.
Oh, absolutely.
If Jordan admits Justin is just a terrible guy, she has to grieve the relationship. If she blames Mia, she can trick herself into believing Justin would be a good guy if only this temptress hadn't ruined it. Mia literally said, I am not your friend, Jordan. They are not friends. Mia doesn't owe her a blood oath. Justin's the one making promises.
You attack the moat because you still want to get inside the castle. And let's look at how Justin talks about Jordan when she isn't around. He tells his buddy that Jordan is just a situationship, and then he reduces her, a human woman, to an acronym, the 3 Fs. Fun, feed, and fuck.
I felt physically ill. He said it on camera, like he was proud of it.
With a smirk, he dehumanized her. And he operates under this flawed sociological assumption that because he was quote-unquote upfront about treating her like a drive-thru, he is somehow the good guy. He thinks transparency neutralizes toxicity.
It doesn't.
And the worst part, nobody is mad at Justin. The entire cast is letting him slide. The men have a boys' club mentality, and the women are too busy annihilating each other to look at the man pulling the strings.
It makes me so aggressively defensive of Mia. Mia didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
She and Justin aren't in a committed relationship. She's single. She refuses to apologize, and I completely validate that.
Then there is the Edisto Lake hookup alibi. Because Lake is trying to push this narrative that Molly is a terrible friend for not stopping Justin and Mia from hooking up at the lake house.
Right, the proxy war.
But the fans pulled the receipts. Molly's alibi is airtight. She was asleep.
She was taking a nap. You cannot police a fuckboy's behavior while you are in REM sleep. What was she supposed to do? Astral project into the hallway to block the bedroom door.
It is absurd. Lake is holding an unconscious woman accountable for 2 grown adults. But while Justin is playing cynical games, someone else in this episode is facing genuine, raw rejection.
Oh, Mickles, my heart is completely broken for him. I need another sip of rosé before we talk about this.
Let's set the stage, because the stakes are high. Mickles lands a digital magazine cover for an LGBTQ publication with over 1 million subscribers.
It's a massive milestone for visibility and representation.
Yeah.
He wants to branch into modeling. He looks flawless in the style. He feels good about himself. And in that moment of pure triumph, all he wants to do is share with his mom on FaceTime.
Right.
And it is so universally relatable. At our core, our inner child just wants our parents to look at us and say, I am so proud of you.
Mm.
He calls her. And she declines the FaceTime. She says she doesn't want to be on camera.
You could watch the light extinguish in his eyes.
I was crying. He literally said, I feel like a little kid all over again, and I'm just being disappointed. Their relationship has been rocky for 5 years, half a decade of conditional love.
See, I was profoundly sad for him too, but my analytical side kicked in. I took a shadier stance on the mom. I looked at the timeline. He mentions their relationship only improved last summer. She started taking him shopping, giving him money. But wait, this maternal support only happened after he got cast on reality TV.
Oof. When you say it like that, it feels so transactional.
It is a glaring red flag. The Reddit consensus is exactly that, and I am judging her harshly. Look at the mechanics of FaceTime. Even if you hate being on camera, you answer the phone, you point the camera at the ceiling, you put your thumb over the lens, you do not hang up on your son's major life milestone.
It is profoundly selfish. He was giving her a layup to be a good parent on television, and she couldn't even do that. He deserves unconditional celebration.
He does. But while Meekles deals with real family trauma across town, the quote-unquote chosen family is tearing each other apart over fake boobs and frozen decories.
The tonal whiplash.
Yeah.
We go from childhood trauma to Lake the detective and the paint and pour chaos.
Let us unpack the unhinged insanity of Lake right now. She is working overtime to produce this show from the inside. She organizes a sip and paint for Leva's new business, Zach's Dakes. First off, Leva forces Lake to work with Molly, whom Lake despises, so the foundation is toxic.
Right, it's a pressure cooker.
Uh-huh.
And then Lake puts on her FBI windbreaker.
The sleuthing. I had to stand up and walk around my living room.
Lake investigates an Instagram story Justin posted of his food. In the blurred, out-of-focus background, she spots the outline of a woman, and she confidently declares to Maddie and Bella that it is undeniably Mia because of, and I quote, fake titties and split ends.
I'm screaming. Weaponizing someone's split ends. It is such a deeply specific appearance. I have to pause to appreciate the insanity of this closed ecosystem. They track GPS locations, they cross-reference alibis, and they identify each other by blurred body parts and hair health in the deep background of a carbohydrate photo. The CIA needs to hire them.
I would be crying in the bathroom every night if I was in this friend group. You can't even eat a burger in peace without someone analyzing your hair health from a pixelated background.
So the trap is set. Mia shows up. Molly pulls Mia aside to warn her. Mia's response is ice cold. She says, I have nothing to apologize for. Mia sits down at a table. And who is waiting? Emmy, Lake, Bella, and Maddie. A coordinated 1v5 ambush.
And Mia clears the room. She dismantles them without ever raising her voice. I am defending Mia with my life. Lake is acting like a bodyguard for a relationship that doesn't exist. Justin called Jordan a situationship. Why is Lake fighting this war?
Let's analyze Lake's underlying motives. Look at Lake's life. She censors herself for her parents. She panders to the clique. She seeks external approval. Now look at Mia. Mia is entirely self-possessed. Lake is fundamentally jealous of Mia's self-love. Lake wants to be the unbothered girl, but she's deeply insecure, so she attacks the girl who genuinely doesn't care, hoping to break her down.
It is textbook projection. Lake is just stirring the pot for camera time. Mia is radiating this energy of, I am running my hot dog stand, Sir Wieners, and you are obsessing over my split ends. We are not the same.
Mia uses silence as armor.
She won that interaction by refusing to play the game, but we absolutely have to shout out Leva before we move on.
Oh my god, Leva trying to be Lisa Vanderpump.
Leva thought she was having a mafia boss moment. She rolls up, surveys the room with this serious glare, and says 4 tables is pretty fucking weak.
I lost it. She thought she was Don Corleone inspecting a casino. It's a frozen daiquiri event on a Thursday afternoon. Calm down, Martin Scorsese. It's Zach Stacks.
The delusion of small business grandeur. Okay, babes, we have dissected the madness, but now we move into our analytical breakdown. Segment 1, pettiest moment.
Oh, I'm ready.
Who did the most for? For no reason. Call it out. Let's hear your nomination. I nominate Lake, without a doubt. The fake titties and split ends forensic analysis is peak petty behavior. Doing all of that, zooming in on an Instagram story, gathering the girls and bringing it up at a public work event, just to fight a battle for Jordan, who wasn't even asking for it. It is doing the absolute most just to establish dominance. It is the definition of petty.
That is a strong nomination. The labor she put into being mean is staggering, but I have to nominate Justin.
Ooh, tell me why.
Because Justin casually summarized a human woman as the 3 Fs: fun, feed, fuck, and thought. That was perfectly acceptable to say on television. It is the pettiest, most flippant dismissal of a person's complex feelings I've seen.
I hate that you are right. That is dark. But wait, is Lake's behavior actually petty? Or is she just insecure? Because pettiness requires, like, villainous confidence. Lake just looks stressed out by her own actions.
What is the line between insecurity and pettiness? I think it starts as insecurity, but the execution is pure pettiness. You don't bring up split ends unless you were trying to be a mean girl. It's a paper cut because she doesn't have a sword.
Fair point. Okay, segment 2, biggest red flag. Who is showing warning signs? Discuss.
The floor is yours.
I am pointing directly at Joe. Yes, lying by omission is bad, but the biggest red flag is how he acts baffled as to why Maddie is upset. You are dating a sober woman with family trauma. When you stay out drinking and then act like she is crazy for having trust issues, that is gaslighting. He lacks the empathy required to date someone in recovery.
Analytically, Joe is a mess, but I am emphatically naming Justin as the biggest red flag.
More than Joe.
Absolutely, because Justin is the ultimate reality TV fuckboy. He escapes all the blame. The women are at a paint and sip tearing each other apart, and Justin is floating around selling hot dogs with zero consequences. A man who can turn women against each other while keeping his own hands clean is incredibly dangerous. That is a siren blaring.
Ugh, the Teflon fuckboy. Nothing sticks to him.
An honorable mention to Michaels' mom for conditional love. Only showing up when cameras are rolling is a massive red flag.
Truly heartbreaking. Okay, we need to lighten the mood. Segment
Okay.
3. Who thinks they're the main character? And are they right?
Go ahead.
I think Mia is the main character right now.
Yeah.
And Babes.
Yep.
She is absolutely right.
Defend your thesis.
She is completely unbothered.
Yeah.
Everyone else is reacting. She is just existing. The plot revolves around her. Lake is obsessing over her photos. Jordan is crying over her. And Mia is just running her hot dog stand, surviving a 1-on-5 ambush without breaking a sweat. She didn't yield an inch. The plot is drawn to her gravitational pull.
I see that. But I argue that Lake thinks she's the main character.
Oh, she definitely thinks she is.
Lake is trying to orchestrate the drama. She sets up the sip and paint, drops the Instagram evidence like a Law and Order detective. She thinks she is the mastermind. But she is dead wrong.
So wrong. She is middle management of drama.
She is giving fan behavior. She is behaving like a viewer who wandered onto set and started trying to direct the actors.
Fan behavior. Put that on a t-shirt immediately. Okay, final segment. Segment 4. Would you be friends with this group? Be honest. Could you handle this chaos in real life?
Tell the truth.
Babes, I am highly emotional.
Yeah.
I would be crying in the Republic bathroom every single night. The location tracking. The weaponized split ends. I would be in bi-weekly therapy. I would be the girl trying to organize group trust falls while everyone throws drinks.
Oh, please. I would thrive.
You would survive the snake pit.
I would absolutely thrive. I would sit in the corner booth, sipping my rosé, taking meticulous notes in a lettered journal, and refusing to apologize. I would be a quiet agent of chaos.
You literally get triggered by your neighbor clearing your throat. You think a pink sticky note is terrorism. You would crumble if Lake confronted you.
Look, I can compartmentalize. The hallway is my sanctuary, the bar is a battlefield, but honestly, let's drop the bravado.
What's our actual fate?
We would end up exactly like Molly.
Oh my God. Yes.
We would get to the lake house, realize people are fighting over a guy who uses fast food acronyms, and we would just take a nap through the worst of the drama. We would prioritize REM sleep over toxicity.
It's so true. I'm sorry, were you fighting about olive oil? I was asleep. Pass the Biscoff.
Yeah.
I am Molly.
We are built for observation. So, to wrap up this beautiful mess, petty neighbors, rosé delusion, milestone madness, sweet treat happiness, we've covered it all.
We really have. But now we need to hear from the Snark Squad. Are you petty? Be honest. Look at your own parking lot behavior.
What's the pettiest thing your neighbor has done? Validate my pattern recognition, please.
And babes, how should we celebrate 1,000 episodes?
Rate, review, subscribe.
Send submissions.
Send this to your pettiest friend.
And thank you to the Snark Squad for 1,000 times we've sat down to unpack this lived-in chaos.
Stay
Stay iconic.
And we'll see you on the Snark side.